ओम 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 सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम सच्चिदानंदरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तावत्रय विनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नुमः। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्च अर्थेष्वभिघ्नस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदाय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। योगीन्द्राय नमस्तस्मै शुकाय ब्रह्मरूपिणे संसारसर्पदष्टं यः विष्णुरातममोमुजत नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं। समस्तदेवताभ्यो नमः ऋषिभ्यो नमः मुनिभ्यो नमः गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराण आचार्येभ्यो नमः। परब्रह्मणे महाविष्णवे ब्रह्मणे सनकादिमुनिभ्यो नारदाय वेदव्यासाय शुकब्रह्मर्षे सूतमहामुनये शौनकादृशिभ्यो वैशम्पायनादृशिभ्यो अत्रादृशिभ्यो प्रह्लादादिभक्तजनेभ्यो मत्स्याद्यवतारेभ्यो आदित्यादिनवग्रहदेवताभ्यो दक्षिणामूर्तिदत्तात्रेय हयग्रीवादिगुरुभ्यो नमः। श्रीयादिपराशक्तिमात्रे नमः। आद्यशङ्कराचार्यवर्यादिगुरुभ्यो नमः। मातापितृदेवताभ्यो नमः। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम श्री कृष्ण परब्रह्मणे नमः। श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराणम् एकादश स्कन्धः मुक्तिर्हित्वा अन्यथा रूपं स्वरूपेण व्यवस्थितिः। अथ पंचविंशोऽध्यायः। श्रीभगवानुवाच ओम। Let us chant this chapter, few shlokas. Gunanam asamisranam pumanyen yatha bhavet tanme purushavaryenam upadharayasham satah shamodamastitiksheksha tapah satyam daya smritihi तुष्टिस्त्यागो स्पृहा श्रद्धा ह्रीर्दयादिः स्वनिर्वृतिः काम ईहामदस्तृष्णा स्तंभ आशीर्भिदा सुखम मदोत्साहो यशप्रीतिः हास्यं वीर्यं बलोद्यमः क्रोधो लोभोऽनृतं हिंसा याञ्चादम्भः क्लमः कलिः शोकमोहौ विषादार्ति निद्राशाभीरनुद्यमः सत्त्वस्य रजसश्चैताः तमसश्चानुपूर्वशः वृत्तयो वर्णितप्रायाः सन्निपातमथो शृणु सन्निपातस्त्वहमिति ममेत्युद्धवयामतिः व्यवहारः सन्निपातः मनोमात्रेन्द्रियासुभिः धर्मे चार्थे च कामे च यदासौ परिनिष्ठितः गुणानां सन्निकर्षोऽयं श्रद्धारतिधनावहः प्रवृत्तिलक्षणे निष्ठा पुमान्यर्हि गृहाश्रमे स्वधर्मे चानुतिष्ठेत गुणानां समितिर्हि सा पुरुषं सत्त्वसंयुक्तम् अनुमीयात् शमादिभिः कामादिभिरजो युक्तं क्रोधाद्यैस्तमसायुतम् यदा भजति मां भक्त्या निरपेक्षः स्वकर्मभिः तं सत्त्वप्रकृतिं विद्यात् पुरुषं स्त्रियमेव वा यदा ह्याशिष आशास्य मां भजेत स्वकर्मभिः तं रजः प्रकृतिं विद्यात् हिंसाम् आशास्य तामसं सत्त्वं रजस्तम इति गुणा जीवस्य नैव मे चित्तजायैस्तु भूतानां सज्जमानो निबध्यते यदेतरौ जयेत् सत्त्वं भास्वरं विशदं शिवं तदा सुखेन युज्येत धर्मज्ञानादिभिः पुमान् यदा जयेत् तमः सत्त्वं रजः सङ्गं भिदाचलं तदा दुःखेन युज्येत कर्मणा यशसा श्रिया यदा जयेत् रजः सत्त्वं तमो मूढं लयं जडं युज्येत शोकमोहाभ्यां निद्रया हिंसया आशया यदा चित्तं प्रसीदेत च इन्द्रियाणां च निर्वृतिः देहे अभयं मनो असङ्गं तत्सत्त्वं विद्धि मत्परं मत्पदं विकुर्वन् क्रियया चाधीः अनिर्वृत्तिश्च चेतसां गात्रा स्वास्थ्यं मनोभ्रान्तं रज एतैर्निशामय सीदत् चित्तं विलीयेत चेतसो ग्रहणे क्षमं मनो नष्टं तमोग्लानिः तमस्तद् उपधारय एधमाने गुणे सत्त्वे देवानां बलमेधते असुराणां च रजसि तमस्युद्धव रक्षसां सत्त्वात् जागरणं विद्यात् रजसा स्वप्नम् आदिशेत् प्रस्वापं तमसा जन्तोः तुरीयं त्रिषु सन्ततम् उपर्युपरि गच्छन्ति सत्त्वेन ब्राह्मणा जनाः तमसाधोध आमुख्याद् रजसान्तरचारिणः ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीभागवत शरणं मम श्रीसद्गुरुशरणं मम श्रीसूत शरणं मम श्रीशुकदेव शरणं मम श्रीव्यास शरणं मम श्रीनारद शरणं मम श्रीकुमार शरणं मम श्रीब्रह्मा शरणं मम श्रीविष्णु शरणं मम श्रीपरब्रह्म शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम शरणं मम शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव कृष्ण कृष्ण मुकुन्द जनार्दन कृष्ण गोविन्द नारायण हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण मुकुन्द जनार्दन कृष्ण गोविन्द नारायण हरे अच्युतानन्त गोविन्द माधव अच्युतानन्त गोविन्द माधव सच्चिदानन्द नारायण हरे सच्चिदानन्द नारायण हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण मुकुन्द जनार्दन कृष्ण कृष्ण मुकुन्द जनार्दन कृष्ण गोविन्द नारायण हरे कृष्ण गोविन्द नारायण हरे Bhagavan came as Lord Krishna and did his wonderful play Leela. At that time he has blessed all those who were there on this earth. After that, although he took his physical form, dissolved it, yet the Krishna Tattva is always ever pervading at all places. That Krishna through Namocharana, through Upasana, anybody anywhere can invoke. And that Krishna with all his powers, with which he played his Leelas on the horizon, on the earth, with all those powers he comes and he blesses that one individual, those groups of individuals, or even entire society and community. Having full understanding and faith in this idea that Krishna came, played, although withdrew his expression or physical form, but very much is available for everyone to invoke with all his powers to be blessed. Having understanding and faith in this, with this understanding faith, when we do Namocharana or Upasana or Prarthana, that will have this deepest impact. That prayer is definitely answered. Generally, all our prayers, all our chantings are only at the mouth level, without any coordination with the mind behind, without any coordination with the intellect behind. Unless intellect understands the Krishna Tattva, accordingly, unless the mind feels full of faith and devotion in Krishna Tattva, the vocal chanting or taking name of the Lord will not have that much of effect. So the Bhakta who got benefited by Bhagavan, by Upasana, and the one who did not get benefit, the difference in the result is because of their completeness or non-completeness while doing that practice of Namocharana or Upasana. The successful one got success because he had full understanding, no doubt at all. When I am studying Bhagavata Purana, in and through when the Krishna, his Leelas, his Upadeshas, his Anugrahas are so abundantly given, how can I doubt about the great Krishna's powers? And through those Leelas, it is so convincing that he is very much eternally there, everywhere. So, with this understanding, I am invoking. And we can see the Lord to such a devotee taking the charge of his life, external as well as internal. And that life of that Jiva can be seen to be progressing, growing so fast, quicker toward the ultimate truth. And that seeker also knows it. Ki now my life is in the hands of Lord Krishna because I believed in his presence and power, and because I prayed ardently to him, he has taken charge of my life. Now I have more and more surrendering to him. I have no other thing else to do. He is going to fully take care of my both yoga and kshema, both my bhukti and mukti. May we all come to that level of total knowledge oriented, faith and devotion oriented, ardent upasana and prayer to Krishna. These Puranas, these stories enhance us in our understanding and faith about Lord's power as well as presence. मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम् श्रीमद्भागवतं पुराणतिलकं यद्वैष्णवानां धनं यस्मिन् पारमहंस्यमेव ममलं ज्ञानं परं गीयते यत्र ज्ञानविरागभक्तिसहितं नैष्कर्म्यमाविष्कृतं तत् शृण्वन् प्रपठन् विचारणवरः भक्त्या विमुच्येन्नरः ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यान् शास्त्रचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं ॐ श्रीकृष्णपरब्रह्मणे नमः श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराणम् एकादशस्कन्धः मुक्तिरेत्वान्यथा रूपं स्वरूपेण व्यवस्थितिः अथ पञ्चविंशोऽध्यायः गुणत्रयविभागयोगः श्रीभगवानुवाच In this 25th chapter of 11th Skandha, Mukti Skandha of Srimad Bhagavata Mahapuranam, the subject matter discussed is the three gunas of the Maya of or the Prakriti, which is fully under the control of Bhagavan. Though it is in the full control of Bhagavan, it has its influence on the jivas as they invoke those three gunas knowingly or unknowingly. Unknowingly, I have put the finger in the fire. Therefore, fire should not burn, or electricity should not give me the shock. That won't work there. You should know that the fire burns, the electricity gives shock, therefore, should not put the finger in the fire or in the socket. Ignorance is not the answer for escaping the miseries, sorrows, or problems. Knowledge is the one. Being a human being, especially born in Hinduism, Sanatana Dharma, with all, we can never afford to justify that I didn't know that there are these three gunas and they influence our life, and it is in our hands that we have to, by choice, develop from the lower to the higher gunas. We must know it. So Bhagavan is Prakriti, which the entire world runs. That Prakriti of Bhagavan or Maya has its three gunas, and according to three gunas, entire world is running. That is from Bhagavan's side. From our side, it is you and I, by knowingly or unknowingly, ignorantly or wisely, with wisdom. It is we are invoking those gunas to influence accordingly in our life. Now, having known this, what Purushartha we are supposed to do is, what are the qualities of each of the guna? Having known, deliberately practicing those qualities, we have to develop those positive guna and be blessed by that guna. And the removal of the non-positive gunas and replacing them by the positive gunas of sattva ityadi is not accidental, is not a jadoo, is not accomplished if we go on waiting, is not accomplished if somebody else does for us. Somebody can do like the Guru and God. It is like Bhagavan Krishna showing Vishwarupa to Arjuna. Only for some time. Only to that extent the Guru Krupa, Ishvara Krupa works to give us a sample for some time. But thereafter, every jiva will have to work out in his own life with knowledge the removal of the gunas negative and replacing the positive one, listen carefully, by his own efforts. That is called as sadhana. For doing that only, all the purushartha, samarthya and all facilities the Bhagavan has provided. When I am joining an office, I have to work with all the facilities given in the work which is given to me. For that only I am appointed there, for that only I am given this salary. In the same way, in the company of this world, I am sent by the Lord, the Yajaman, and I have to know and do for the world the Dharma Ityadi, and in spiritual sadhana, this understanding yukta, removal of the lower gunas and replacing them by the positive guna. As long as we go on waiting without taking the charge in our hands, nothing of the change going to happen in our life. You may wait for millions of kalpa and mahakalpa also. This is not for someone and not for other one. It is for everyone. All facilities are given, use them and grow. So, otherwise, Bhagavan would have played his jadoo of suddenly giving everybody Sattva and Rajoguna and Tamo. ऐसा नहीं होता. He provides everything. He gives us Dimakar Buddhi. Using that, first know it, then know the techniques, implement the techniques, and grow in higher guna and reduce the lower gunas. From now onwards, you and I, who are something special, then the other people who once in a while attend some class, some shastra, some guru with all their vagueness. We are different now. Our difference is we are continuously, constantly, are serious, sincere to invoke the grace and blessing of the entire Guru Parampara by being very regular to the Shastra Dhenam. Such we now should not anymore wait or depend on something that happens, that our sadhana automatically happens, and our durgunas of rajas and tamas go away, sadguna comes by itself. This notion, we being specially blessed sadhakas by the Guru Parampara, we should not have. On the other hand, you and I should have a pakka clarity, conviction that it is my life, I have to take the charge of it. I must closely observe my life, what gunas are predominant in that. If they are rajas and tamas, I must feel bad about it. I must feel convinced that I must come out of them, and I also must know what are the sattva guna lakshana, and I must again feel that those sattva gunas I must put effort to gain in me. Lo, this is what I am spending every ounce of my energy, every moment of the lifespan that is given to me. This is what is the kartavya of you and I who are specially, very specially, very specially chosen. No doubt about it. And it is not an ego or arrogance. It is a fact. And up to this, when we are blessed by the Lord, we should further be also blessed in the higher and greater anubhavas. Those anubhavas come when they bless us. The blessing of God Guru come when we practically do what which is in our hands. That which is in our hands. And what is in our hands is study this 25th chapter of Bhagavata 11th Skandha thoroughly and understand which are the lakshanas and qualities of the which guna, and thus which lakshanas I have to consciously eliminate. To eliminate the lower guna, consciously practice the positive gunas to include or bring the sattva in me. No? As a listener, as we have made the Rishi Guru Parampara satisfied. Therefore, they are giving us health, goodwill, and consistency to listen. In the same way, may we invoke their grace or make them happy, also not only by listening, but trying to understand, apply. Shakti is theirs, Anugraha is theirs. Moka is given to us, Prayatna is ours. Is it not? It is their Anugraha which gives us Shakti. But it is our willingness and our Prayatna. Remember, our willingness and Prayatna. Never ever you will get this guidance anywhere. Straight away you listen. It is my willingness and my effort. If these two I am very strong in, the infinite power of the Lord starts gushing into me and makes the things happen. Here the things are the sadhana of invoking the sattva gunas in me, suppressing or eliminating the rajo tamaguna lakshanas. And why this has to be done? When sattva guna is predominant, what will be our benefit? When other gunas are there, in what way we suffer? The entire chapter is going on reveling in that only, which we slowly, steadily, daily, little we study. Let it take couple of days or maybe one of the whatever the number of time. We are not worried. In this context of elaborately explaining all the gunas and their influences in this chapter 25, in the second mantra, the 15 qualities of sattva guna are told. These are the 15 qualities. It doesn't mean there's only 15. Like that Erdigarda, whatever nearby, all of them also are the sattva guna predominant. If a person is, these gunas are natural. Therefore, by all efforts, if we can make these gunas natural in us, we are in the sattva guna lakshana. We are in the sattva guna. And that sattva guna makes the Lord, the Guru, choose our antakarana for revealing the higher secrets of the adhyatmikata or whatever required for the world and for our own spiritual evolution. So in this we have seen few of the beautiful qualities. The shloka is Shamodamas Satyam Shamodamastitiksheksha Tapas Satyam Daya Smritihi Tuštistyago Spruha Shraddha Hrirdayadisvanirvrutihi. Among them, Shamaha exhaustively studied. It is the nigraha of the mana inside. Okay, mana, buddhi, chitta, ahankara, all the four you can talk there as all four inner instrument Nigraha is Shama, mainly the Mana. Dama, all the Bahya, Dasha Indriya, total mastery. We have spoken that exhaustively. Titiksha also, we have understood forbearing all the pairs of opposite, especially the non-positive ones like Dukkha Ityadi, without any retaliation, etc. Titiksha, forbearing all of them. Then Iksha, we try to understand as having a goal and vision and remembrance of that, or Iksha also means always using this power of discrimination of the intellect, not deciding anything haphazardly, not deciding anything under the influence of any inner or outer compulsions. The authority of Shastra used it, discrimination is done, Viveka and right decision is taken. That sort of natural tendency is called Iksha. करने के बाद पश्चाताप पश्चात वो कहते हैं ना पछताना नहीं. That pachitana in Hindi came from paschatapa. He could not say paschatapa, pachatava, he said. No question of paschatapa because of doing something wrong, because of wrong decision. He is always iksha. That iksha is so natural to him. He, in a minute moment's notice only, he is able to decide what is correct or wrong correctly without any doubt. Whether is talking to someone or not talking, doing something or not doing, going somewhere or not going, he has got an iksha perfect, like Puja Gurudev and all. It's his iksha level is so great. You can't find any shortcoming or possibility of improvement in his lectures or in his writings, in all his works. That much high level of alertness and viveka to take pakka positive definition only. And his iksha, not only while commenting on Shastras or giving satsanga, but whenever he'll have to give an advice, guidance for the samstha to work, or in general for the grahasthas, even for taking any decision in their mundane works. His iksha level is so perfect, whoever have followed what he said, they succeeded. And in each case, he is not same answer he will give, like some property related legal issues there. To somebody, he in abruptly when that person asks question, just fight out it is your property. In a moment's notice, he answered. Then that person taking Gurudev's words fought out, and within few months or year, all the property that person got, running into some 40-50 crores. His iksha. In that, he has seen all the legalities because of which the property belongs to her, and if she fights out with all the proofs, she will get it. वो सब उनको ज़्यादा सोचना नहीं पड़ा. His iksha shakti was so much. And he knows that that money she will use some positive work, which is good for society and her own punyam. And in other case, same question when asked, he said, just give it up. Let them take away all the money, it doesn't belong to you. With little dukkha, that person agreed. And the result was such a peace that those fellows took that money, went away, and that enmity, that tension was no more throughout life. Guidance given to this person is different. But his iksha was so perfect, but both guidances were successful. Someplace they asked, should I start this company or factory? He said, Pakka you start it, you will grow in it. In other place, he said, don't do this, do the other one. Which they were not at all aware of. But because Gurudev told, they started, they excelled in that. To that person, he said, no need to do any of the extra thing. Whatever you have, that is good for you. Followed, they succeeded. This high level of intuitive power, backing the Viveka and Nirnaya, is called as Sattva. And that comes when we are absolutely selfless, absolutely full of all good divine qualities of kindness and compassion. And with full faith in the Lord, tapasya, upasana is done, For a long time, such power of Iksha comes that you are able to visualize the future. Such people, very serious situation of a patient. They'll advise, take to that hospital doctor, he'll be alive, survived. Really taken, deathbed से कोई बाहर आता है. And to some other people, he say, though the problem is smaller, he just indirectly hints, try your best. Because they should not say directly. But the person being mature, he understands what Gurudev told. So they do that, whatever little trial can be done. Though the person is young, though this is not so serious, still he won't survive. Iksha. All things happen to those great Sattva-guni. When the person says also, is your you gave the advice, Gurudev, therefore I could balance myself because I got the hint from you. But the other family member, they could not. What to do there, Prarabdha? They have that iksha. वो जीव को देखते पता चलता है रहेगा कि जाएगा. 80-year-old man also will live for 20 more. A 40 years also will not. That iksha they will have. They won't change prarabdha. They don't interfere with Ishvara's creation, Jiva's evolution. They only facilitate. The great gurus I am telling. I took example of Gurudev, so many Mahatma saints. Iksha is the vision of one's own ultimate goal. That is called Sattva Guna Lakshana. Iksha also means special intuitive power. Iksha also means Pakka perfect Viveka on the basis of Shastra at every moment to decide what is good or bad, what to do or not to do. This is called as Iksha. What a great. No regrets of wrong decision, wrong action. No guilts. No need to do the repairing. That Iksha works at the lowest level also. If 10 years he will put coffee every day. Not even one day the coffee spills out. That is called the power of Iksha. Shuddha Sattva. If that is not there, every day the coffee or tea jumps out of the vessel and the gas stove kharab hota hai, and every day some nonsense. That is called not having that Iksha power. Even at the mundane thing also. No day he will park a scooter or a car in a wrong zone, even a 10 centimeters in his garage. That is the power of Iksha. So much perfect. One of the great qualities. A Sattva Guni will possess that. And it is natural, not effort. It includes everything, going to the office on time, doing work on time, and even winding up also on time. This vision, Iksha is a vision. So perfect, so solid, so naturally perfect it is. That is a lakshana of the Sattva Guna. Okay? Shamaha, Damaha, Titiksha, Iksha. Yesterday we didn't explain it exhaustively. So today we took 3-4 minutes more time. This word is Iksha. He can visualize for the entire nation. What's the future? Even for the entire globe also. Iksha. Visionaries they are all. The great visionaries. And when somebody follows that, really the world, like all our Shastrakaras are highest Sattva Guna, therefore they are the visionaries, therefore they give all the Shastra. Eternal they are. Anyone, even after 10 million years also, who follows Gita or Adi Shankara's writings or Vyasa Shastra, they will get moksha. What an Iksha! See that? For eternity, they have given the guidance for all dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Visionary. Okay. Then the fourth one was Shamo, Dama, Tapaha, Dama, Titiksha, 3. Iksha is fourth. Then Tapaha, we have explained yesterday. Kaika, Vachika, Manasika, Sattvika, Rasika, Tamasika. Variety of tapasyas that are there. And the tapa definitions, 3-4 from different shastras, we culled out and tried to discuss. Then Satyam also we spoke, the vocal truth also, intellectual conviction, and courage to practice that conviction. That is Sattva Guna Lakshana. We are convinced that we are human, we have to be spiritual. Practicing only that, how much ever the world may tempt, how much ever in the mind, because of asanas, the desires may gurgle, yet I am following my intellectual conviction only of the sadhana. That practice is called satyam. But to this person, that is natural. शुद्ध सत्वगुणी की बात हो रहा है यहाँ. असमिश्राणाम is the word, don't forget it. Those who are fully in pure sattva-guna, without the mixture of rajas tamas, of that person, these are the gunas. So he is satyam. Intellectual honesty is satyam, vocal is satyam. Then we saw, according to Taittiriya Upanishad, satyam vadishyami is whatever the rutam that I implement, that is called satyam. Then next one, daya, we saw. In daya, there is always acceptance of others, follies, and protecting oneself. In daya, there is always going out of the path or the way and helping others. In daya, there is definitely the forgiveness for that person. The magnanimity will come to share whatever we have to help the other person who is in dukkha. That is called daya, karuna. All of them little difference, but they are almost same things. That is natural. Opposite of daya is what? The non-sensitivity, insensitivity, non-response. Nowadays this daya aspect is little reduced. Professionally people do, but not as the quality called daya. Any helps that are required. Thoda kam ho raha hai. Earlier it was so much, even some suffering comes, this person goes out of way and helps so much. पड़ोसी कुछ हो गया तो इतना हंगामा करके सब उसको देखते थे. अब पड़ोसी जिंदा है कि मरा भी नहीं पता. नो दया. So much of machinery, technology is an outcome of all not scientific investigation, but the lack of quality is called daya ityadi. If people around are with full daya, then no need of all this running around. They only will take care. Machinery is required when their humanity is reducing. You understood? When the humanity grows in human qualities, why the machine? उसकी जरूरत कम होती है. एक दूसरे को मदद नहीं करते हैं. दया है तो करते हैं, नहीं कर रहे हैं इसलिए एवरीबडी इज बिकम इंडिपेंडेंट इन गेटिंग ऑल दीज मशीनरीज फॉर देयर हेल्प. या ट्रू. अर्लियर पड़ोसी को पूछ कर बुलाते थे, अरे आओ चलो मैं जा रहा हूँ, आपको मैं ऑफिस छोड़ता हूँ. देयर वाज नो नीड फॉर द नाइबर टू बाई एनी स्कूटर कार फॉर 20 years. ही यूज्ड टू टेक. नेवर दिस फेलो पेड एनी मनी फॉर हिम. पेट्रोल मैं भी शेयर करता हूँ. नॉर ही आस्क्ड. See that daya there ki, "Arey, anyway I am going that way. I am not spending any 1 rupee extra. Why should I take from you?" That is natural. Now, the brother will not give lift to sister. Both of them don't give to the other. Everybody will have their own car and the parking lot is full. Petrol cost increases. Then you have to find the pratyamnaya natural resources for the stupid fellows who don't have daya to take them to some nonsense places. In this regard, I always my father, he must have in his whatever number of years of life, at least he must have on average put 2 people per day, 800 people. कम से कम 30, 40, 50 हजार लोगों को he must have given lift in his life in whatever the vehicle. I was always एक आध बार after giving the lift he asked that person, what do you do? He said, I'm a beggar. Not in English. Yesterday the beggar bought a 90,000 bike for his wife. कल का टीवी में न्यूज क्या तमाशा चलता है आप देखो दुनिया में. That is different. This example is different. How many? He just, each one has his own way of expressing that compassion. There's some people naturally they used to feed people. बस कोई उनके दिमाग में काम thought आता ही नहीं, why should I feed and all. People are hungry, I can afford. They do it blindly. Lucky that they did not study too much of Vedanta. Therefore, they are practically spiritual. We do so much of study, neither do any of the values, nor we can sit for meditation. We are a big confused brand. Swamiji, 15 minutes back, you told that we are special. Yeah, that is what I'm telling. I thought you forget everything next moment. Daya. Daya for the entire Jiva Koti. Nobody should suffer physically, financially, psychologically. Not only human, all beings. That is Daya and prayer in that way. Ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet is a prayer coming out of a Dayavan Purusho. Ma kaschid, kaschid, not even one Jiva in the universe. After all, everybody is Parabrahma, Paramatma's expression. Parabrahma is Ananda Swarupa. How can there be dukkha? How can be there? They cannot be, they should not. Such person challenges Bhagavan also. Requests him, does the entire life puja only to offer to God to see that nobody is suffering. ऐसे लाखों ऋषि मुनि लोग उनको पता है they are in the path of ultimate reality. They are doing that. At the remaining time they only do samupasana. What result you want? Oh Lord, please remove the dukkha of others. For that I am spending all this tapasya. दया ऐसे कितने ऋषियों के कृपा से हम सब जिंदा हैं. Doing spiritual sadhana, contemplation, meditation. But 24 hours you can't do that. The time you may be tired, exhausted. At that time, what to do? They don't allow the tamoguna. They just take the name of the Lord, samupasana. But that always has the result of some punyam. Then what for that punyam? Not that I want money or I want to become a famous Swami. Huh? I want to build hundreds of ashramas. Yeah, that is your decision. Why should I worry? All that punya spent in removing dukkha of the dina. Wonderful it is. And the heart which has no daya, they are called really not human beings. Daya. Mhm. These three gunas, Danam, Dama, and Daya. Daya is a quality to be had by the Rakshasas because they are cruel. Dama is to be had by the human beings because they are all sensuous. Danam is by the Devatas because they have plenty to give. These three, the three Upadesha Bhagavan gave to human, the Asuras and Devatas. In one of the Upanishad context, it comes. But for us also, Daya, naturally compassion. And such Dayavan person has always problem in the family with the wife. He wants to give money to the others and she says, "क्यों दे रहे हो बेकार में वो लोग अच्छे लोग नहीं है." Every day they fight. It may be sometimes the husband gives or it may be my wife. She never understands why he is giving money to some unknown person unwanted. He also never thinks it. He just gives her उसकी जरूरत पड़ी मैंने दे दिया. And she says he's taking you for a ride and all your money going. She wants all that money for her all gehne and all that. दयावान होना ही कि नहीं इस दुनिया में दया. And daya is never useful or meaningful if it is not practical. Karuna and daya impractical or meaningless. बैठे बैठे करुणा दया फील कर रहे हो बिना कुछ किए. It's not no. Like we have feeling for our Hinduism. What are you doing? Sitting and studying only Shastra. एक स्लोगन भी नहीं करते हैं. ये जाकर लेटर भी नहीं लिखते प्रेसिडेंट प्राइम मिनिस्टर को. चेंज आवर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन एंड मेक इट इज हिंदू. दैट्स इट. जिसको रहना है रहो, नहीं तो चले जाओ. हिम्मत होना चाहिए. व्हाट सेक्युलरिज्म? Constitutionally Hinduism. Practically we anyway are secular. That's why they are surviving in our nation. Whole humanity and spirituality and divinity are getting destroyed just because of one word, secularism. Bring Hinduism. And what is Hinduism? Absolutely practice. In that all isms include. That's why I'm saying. Your communism, your socialism, your humanism, your togetherism, all isms put together is Hinduism. We are there to guide. We'll tell you what are the essence of Shastra. We'll tell what is essence in Gita, what is in Ramayana, what is in Bhagavatam. From that, what values, along with shlokas, can be quoted to make the constitution. बड़ा सब्जेक्ट है, 10-20 साल लगता है, स्टार्ट शुरू करो, हो जाएगा वो. Anything like that, daya with practicality. Okay. This is the Sattva Guna natural. Then Smritihi. Smritihi is in the very powerful memory of whatever is required, and most important is a Smriti of his ultimate goal. Viveka is discrimination, Smriti is remembrance of the ultimate goal. Whatever the activity is involved in, he knows that he is the goal, spiritual seeker ultimately, and this activity of mine is in line with my sadhana, therefore I am doing. That's smriti. That's the highest definition. Lower level में, not like we forget, अभी दवाई लिया वो भी हम भूल जाते हैं. This is parama tamoguna it is. You know, I mean, we ask the wife, "आई मैंने गोली खाई क्या?" And she is your own wife, therefore she says, "नहीं पता मैंने नहीं है, फिर से खाओ." और सडनली शुगर लेवल डाउन हो गया, देन हैरान हो गए, क्या हो गया, क्या हो गया. And nobody understands cut because of forgetfulness. They took 2 गोली. शुगर कंट्रोल वाले. कभी कभी ऐसा लगता है कि लिया है, वो दे डोंट टेक, बिकॉज द डे पास सो फास्ट कि कल का लिया हुआ मेमोरी है, लगता है कि आज ही लिया है, थोड़ा सा मतलब वेग, पक्का नॉट रिमेम्बर्ड, नॉट क्लियर. therefore they don't take, thinking is taken and suddenly it shoot up. क्या हुआ, क्या हुआ. That is parama tamoguna lakshana. But smriti, every moment, absolute smriti, consciousness and smriti, being conscious of everything every moment is शुद्ध सत्व गुण लक्षण. सब है उसमें कि अभी मैं उम्र गया है, तबीयत का हिसाब क्या है, कितने साल मैं जीने वाला हूँ. There everybody can have an idea. I know how long I can live tentatively, not that I am the decider. Suddenly कोई एक्सीडेंट, भूकंप हो गया, कोई भी मर सकता. In general, apart from that general condition, smriti. And then accordingly, therefore, what sadhana to be done? How much importance to be given to the things or beings or worldliness? What are the atonements I have to do? Praschat, prayaschitta, for whatever the mistakes done. Now, whatever all put together is smriti. What's the position of my accounts, position of all my relations, position of all the properties? ये व्यावहारिक स्मृति की बात कह रहा हूँ. पारमार्थिक स्मृति में द गोल, हाउ फार आई हैव रीच्ड. Am I pakka in my viveka and vairagya? How much I am doing shamadamadi? He is aware of it. Smriti. The beauty of the smriti is ability to remember what is to be remembered at every time, and equally great is ability to forget what need not be remembered. कोई कुछ चीज़ें हम भूलना है, like others do mistakes or some troubles they give us. देर नॉट मजा इन रिमेम्बरिंग ऑल दैट. अगर आपको ऐसा लगता है ना कि समझ में लोग कितना मुझे धोखा देते हैं, मुझे बुराई करते हैं, सब मैं भूल ही जाता हूँ. आई टेल यू, यू आर सच ए ब्लेस्ड एंड लकी फेलो. अदरवाइज यू विल नेवर हैव पीस. So many people trouble us and we remember all of that. So at that level, Vismruti is good quality. But if somebody helps us and we remember and we are reciprocating, that's called Sattva Guna. Smriti. Is it not? And Smriti in one way is so good कि in your huge life of whatever span, how many good activities you might have done, how many pilgrim places you have gone to, how many Mahatmas you have met, all that you can remember and relive them. That's all helpful for sadhana. Like reliving all the frustrated, miserable things is a waste of time. Reliving all those moments is the use of the time for sadhana. याद रखो, अगर आपको याद है आप बद्रीनाथ धाम गए थे और उस समय आप मंदिर में ऐसे दर्शन किए, फिर भगवान का इतना दिव्य रूप का दर्शन हुआ. रिमेंबर, इट इज ए मेमोरी, इट इज द इंसिडेंट ऑफ द पास्ट, नो डाउट, बट यू आर रिमेंबरिंग इट इन द प्रेजेंट. दैट इज साधना ओनली, बिकॉज साधना इज टू रिमेंबर गॉड. The entire Alankara of Lord Balaji or Mata Rani, he went into that gufa mein, Vaishno Devi. So you have seen all those three pinda, you remember even now. Smriti, कितना बढ़िया है कि नहीं? Like you have seen Puja Gurudev. And that beautiful statue of him, Vigraha, Divya Mangala Vigraha, if the smriti of that is there to you, you did not put a photo or Vigraha. Man mein aankh band karo, remember Gurudev, straight away you can do to puja at his feet. How बढ़िया. It's a good memory, no? Even it can be a movies. A good, noble movies of higher values, social, cultural, spiritual. Spirit, even those things. Some nice Gana, some story of a great Bhakta. याद है मानो आपको स्मृति you can close the eyes and remember yeah putting the mind in devotion is sadhana anytime for what for that anything can be helpful any health thing which can be helpful can be taken that help can be taken. How wonderful it is smriti. Sattva guni is always in the smriti of all those things which helps him. Smriti is wonderful quality. And that is what Smarana. And the first definition of Smriti is more important, which we did not explain much. Second Smriti, we explained more. That also important. What is the first definition of Smriti? Always remembering is ultimate goal. I have to transcend these Dehadi, Panchakoshas, Arupadi and discover my own self. I have to discover. That is going on with the Smriti, adding to the urgency of it. After a certain time, that alone becomes the goal. You will not worry about anything else. Like for you, as it's happening, only goal now is study Shastra. Then the next stage will be conviction about our goal. Then we will involve only in that. There's no doubt. अब बाकी सारे चीज फेड हो गए मन से ये करना वो करना कोई लोग कहते हैं भी तो मैं तो कहीं जाऊंगा नहीं इफ आई गो समवेयर आई हैव टू मिस 2-3 classes every day there are invitations you don't know how many programs I'm sacrificing rather I'm enjoying to give them up for my regular classes. People call me for this that मैं नहीं जा रहा हूँ मेरे को अपना क्लास स्मृति my goal is not to miss to be in touch with the truth as well as the Guru Parampara and the Shastra every day. That is called the remembrance of that is called Smriti. My goal is this. Remembering the goal is Smriti and remembering all the paths to follow to reach to the goal is also Smriti. It is effortless. He is not forgetful. He is not second time asking Guru. That's what Gurudev like people were trained by Tapan Maharaj. Tapan Maharaj very pakka. I will teach only once. And any day, any time in Maharaj Ratko, I'll ask you, you have to tell what I taught you. If you don't tell me, there's no punishment. You just leave the ashram and go. Very taskmaster he was. Nobody could stay. It was only Gurudev. Gurudev was so only very less food is to take. Always maintain his sattva so highest level that his smriti remains pakka, such that whenever the Guru asked him anything which he taught, he used to reply. That's what Tapan Maharaj loved about Gurudev. Others ran away because they could not maintain that memory power because they were in tamas because of excessive food or excessive sleep. Test Smritika. And it helped not Tapan Maharaj. It helped Gurudev because in short span of time he could study everything. Klyam, Shamodama, Stitiksheksha. Then comes Tapaha, Satyam, Daya and Smritihi. Smritihi. And one of the way to develop our smriti of positive things is so simple. Keep on reducing non-positive things from your life. कुछ नहीं नुकसान होगा. If you don't watch TV or program, if you don't read newspaper, हम मरने वाले नहीं हैं. But the same nonsense we go on seeing that takes up so much of position of our own mind, intellect. Therefore, the good things we don't remember. Very important it is. Like after the class, in how many things we involve, because of which this smriti is gone. Now, instead of that, even after class for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, if you study this only, the smriti of this will be stronger. Practical. इसमें कोई दिमाग लगाने की जरूरत ही नहीं है. Simple it is. We want to know everything of this world. We want to involve in everything of this world. Till we don't discover that it is not necessary, until we don't discover that it is necessary for us to remember the Gita shlokas, Bhagavad shlokas, rather than this nonsense, we will never have smriti. We will never be able to help ourselves. Smriti होना चाहिए. Hmm. Okay, next one, tushtihi. Tushti is the word which we have discussed so many times, that what our prarabdha gives us, that alone we get it. And being spiritual seeker, to employ all our time, energy only for sadhana, the only way is to be tushta, contented with whatever we have. If you put efforts, definitely you can improve upon. But then those efforts, instead of putting for that, if we put for our adhyatmic sadhana, we grow here, no? And one trick which I am slowly discovering, not yet, about the world is one, without tushti, opposite of that is called lobha. Because of lobha, absence of tushti, the more you put effort to gain the things, the more the mind seeks. कुर्सी नहीं है घर में, sit नीचे. If you are contented by that, it's over. It's only question of one or two times some pain, some will come. Otherwise, okay. नहीं कुर्सी चाहिए. If that greed is encouraged, you can buy kursi, it comes. You start sitting in the kursi, but you will never be satisfied because contentment was not there. You come to the next level कि cushion चाहिए. Then the back rest चाहिए. Then the hands चाहिए. Then you can afford, therefore you are going on increasing. Is no end to that. Then the single sofa चाहिए, then double sofa चाहिए, then swinging wala chair चाहिए. This is how the non-contentment has destroyed the entire prakriti in such a way that people have become the comfort mongers. Entire life is only for that. And with all these comforts, with zero spiritual sadhana, because there's no time at all for that, all those comforts may they comfortably die. That's all. Without any sadhana. ये ट्रिक है. Anything it is about food also. दाल रोटी खाओ प्रभु के गुण गाओ. नो, हाउ कैन इट बी दाल? मसाला दाल, तड़का दाल, फिर एक सब्जी, सूखा एक सब्जी, तरी वाली एक सब्जी. अब देयर इज नो एंड टू दैट. फिर उसके साथ फिर पापड़ लगाओ. You go. It is not that you won't enjoy it. It is not that you can't earn it. But point is that you are only growing in that demand and greed only. Then the garnishings, then the eating of it, then side dishes. ये सब भोगियों के लिए. You can do once in a while, but that cannot be the life. But those who don't have the tushti in this way. So to the kapda. Simple, you can have 4-5 dresses. No. Tushti nahi hai, so then every day the mind goes on. Our life, even with your own friends and your companies, money, bank balances, tushti is a natural, matlab a inner heart, the feeling in the heart, which is applicable at every level, where he by choice stops at one point, even if others have offer, he says, I don't want. The pariksha for the tushti is when you have gone to somebody's house for food, they with all love they served. You had one gulab jam and you got contented. Second one they served for their sake you had. Third, fourth, they have forced you and they are freely available and you don't have sugar. And yet, if you can say no without regret, that is called tushti. Tushti there. Indian culture system is tushti pradhana, not bhoga pradhana. That is why we never struggle too much in the bhautika materialistic growth, though it was there for the kings and all of that. That is only to show that we can, not because we are slaves that we can't be without that. Tushti is a beautiful quality. And one more tushti is so far in our life, whatever the sukha came from the people and their love and all, be contented. Don't ask any more. Otherwise, the mind gets distracted. And don't have tushti for sadhana. I want to do more, more, more. Karte jana. A tushta person can always smile in any place. तुष्टि नहीं है तो उसका कोई अंत ही नहीं. Like I am developing this quality. You 10 people are there for me regularly. I am tushta. Earlier I used to feel more people. That was not for my selfishness. Anyway, it was for the Shastra to be useful for others. Even that also I am slowly giving up. But yeah, you are there, excellent. One other day, sometime none of you come also, not even one. I say the computer is working online, tushta, laga do. Natural it should be. Slowly, slowly, we have to develop it to natural. Tushta. Oh, beautiful. And don't misunderstand tushti with the compromise with the goals and ambitions. Okay, that you have to have. And our goals are spiritual. And some social service goals one can have. There he is achieving and is tushta with that, and not out of asha or greed, but out of possibility and the need that he is working. Like Puja Gurudev, when he started his samstha in Mumbapuri it is called actually. But he expanded it all over the world. Is it that he was not contented? That he was atushta? No, no, no. It was out of not greed, but it was of the need and possibility. The world needs it and I can make it possible. So he went everywhere and started it. इस तरह से तो बैलेंस रखना है. देन त्याग. नेक्स्ट सत्व गुण लक्षण इज त्याग. त्याग is a beautiful guna. When once we know that something is not required for us, the ability to give it up once for all is त्याग. That's the highest quality. Shuddha Sattva Dubara Sochtana. If the doctor said, "By your sugar is increasing, it's not good, it will affect other." What to do, doctor? Sahab? Just nothing, you have to give up sugar if you can. You may have an alternate. What if you can? I am giving up sugar, that's all. That's what doctor told me, and पिछले 35 साल हो गए मैंने मिठाई नहीं खाई. He is called as त्यागी. You understood? There's no second thought. Doctor told sugar is bad for you. And I gave it up. हो गया. But the other fellows, Rajasic, Tamasic, Indriya Lola, how can I live without them? मेरा जिंदगी मिठाई में ही था. उसके बाद he'll scold the doctor and he'll scold the God for creating the diabetes, that you are not allowing me to eat sweet, and he'll find all the means in the world by what? By which he can be allowed to eat the sugar. Every medical treatment he will go for. If anybody is going for treatment of the sugar, it means what? He has no ability to do the tyaga of the sugar. Why need of any treatment? जब कह दिया कि चीनी छोड़ दिया हो गया ना. I'll tell you the lakshana of not trupti and not having tyaga is one. 99% of diseases come only because of taking things extra, whether you believe it or not. If you can give up that extra thing, all diseases go away. But we are so greedy, lobhi, that we don't have the tushti, and we don't have the guts to do the tyaga, that we are depending on all medication or treatment. And one main cause of all physical disease is extra eating. That's it. If you can remain bhuka all the time, that one adat if you can make, you can never have any disease. But how many years back we felt hunger, batao? Bhuka for 1 day, 1 hour, 2 hour, 2 day, like that. Not 2 minutes में भूख लगा फ्रिज में बैठकर सब खा लिया. That राक्षस तो नालायकपन we have now. That is a treatment for all diseases. If you eat less, the higher powers will start maintaining the body. You are eating so much that the higher powers also are not coming, and this excessive eating is disturbing every cell of the body. I am telling all this from the word tyaga. Example of the doctor saying that you have BP, give up namak. छोड़ दो यार, हो गया खत्म. ये सड़ गया, हो गया, छोड़ दिया, maintained all through. You are getting cough and it may lead to the lungs. Stop, you are the smoking. Oh, छोड़ दिया, finish. Your kidney, liver getting affected, drinks. Okay, 1 minute. Tyaga. Suddha Sattva Guna. And Tyaga and Vismriti all go together. Tyaga also we can say as what? Whatever happened yesterday, the last moment, good or bad, त्याग कर दिया, हो गया, आगे देखते रहना बस. त्याग गुण. त्याग is giving up, forgetting, that's all. No relation with that again. तो काशी में जाकर कुछ त्याग करके आने का बोलते. There are three things in Kashi. One is Dhanam, second is Tyagam, third is Sannyas. Those who do Dhanam, they get lot of Punyam. Those who do Tyaga, they get transcended from the Upadita Adhatmya. Those take up Sannyasa, they get the Bhagavan Vishwanath Darshan there. Tyagi, Dhani, Dhani, Tyagi and Sannyas. Some do Dhanam, Kashi में दान पुण्य, but त्याग काशी में छोड़ के. Some people, they go and do it. Nowadays, when Amma is not coming to class, she was in Kashi for 1 month. मेरे को लग रहा है she gave त्याग of स्वामी जी. स्वामी का त्याग कर दी उधर, so she is not in classes. है क्या? I don't know. Why are you not coming to class now? Swami ji, you told me to do tyaga in Kashi something. Yeah, I gave you. See, once you do in Kashi tyaga, I should not do it again, na Swamiji? Yeah, therefore, please don't expect me to come to class. Don't do that. Tyagaha. Then aspruha. Aspruha means what? Idigo is such a person, Suddha Sattva Guni, long back only understood the mischief of the mind in creating the endless disease called as Kamana. He has analyzed that Kamana so perfectly and understood the illogicity of it as well as fallacy in that with some practice he transcended it. Therefore, at no moment of his entire life, the mind gurgles out with any Kamana. That Kamana Rahita is called Aspruha. The enjoyability, the bhoga vritti about nothing in the world. He is reveling in devotion, he is reveling in service, he is reveling in contemplation, he is reveling in all good quality practice. That is so elevating Ananda, that this Ananda out of Kama, Sukha, is actually it's a very lowest level for such person. What is the Kamana? The Prema, Bhakti, Seva, Dhyanam, Chintanam, Sadgunas is reveling in that only. He is long back taken away from Kamana. Imagine what Kamana may be there in Gurudev. हो गए मिठाई खाऊं मैं, पकौड़े खाऊं मैं, है ना, घूमने जाऊं कार में इधर उधर. Can there be any imagination of desire in Adi Shankara Bhagavan, Gurudev, Vedavyasa? If that is there, they would have not done all this great work. Aspruha. The disease is gone. They have transcended that level of mind. Shuddha Sattva Guni mein kamana nahi hota. Everywhere is work. And he is amidst all the kamya vastus and bhoga vastus. He will not even look at them in any form of desire fulfillingness. They are there like that. Bhagavan ka srishti hai bas. Aspruha. And I'm not telling the sadhana aspect of each one of them. I'm only elaborating them. How a person will be when he is Sattva-guna, as told by Lord Krishna here. One of the way to transcend the spruha is seeing the divinity everywhere. And to the divine, we have to give, not take. Therefore, the taking aspect when goes away, by seeing divinity everywhere, there is no kamana. सब भगवान है. ये जगत दर्शन के लिए होता है, कामना के लिए नहीं होता. बट हम करते हैं दर्शन इस जगत का और कामना उत्पन्न कर रहे हैं. क्यों? कि नजर टेढ़ा है. दर्शन ठीक करना है उसको. फिर क्या है? ये भोग्य दर्शन के बजाय भगवत दर्शन करो जगत में, गयो कामना. This is only way. Seeing divinity is the only way to remove the desire. There is no other way. Insistingly, we have to see the divine everywhere. And to divine, we have to only surrender and offer ourselves. How can you have desire from him? Like that. So, asproha, no kamana. Then the next quality is shraddha, that undaunted faith. Again, for shraddha, so many places this word shraddha comes everywhere. Just because we are studying this chapter exhaustively, you give me permission, we will quote some of them so that we become more rich in our understanding. First of all, about Shraddha, it comes in every Shastra, Upanishad. Like in Kaivalya, Adihi Bhagavo Brahma Vidyam. Please teach me Brahma Vidya. Guru says, you only come to know how Shraddha Bhakti Dhyana Yoga Devaihi. You only come to know with Shraddha. Same way in Prashnopanishad, when the 6 disciples went, what he said? Bhuyeva tavasa brahmacharyena shraddhaya samvatsaram samvatsyatha ata prashnan pruchata yad vigyasayamaha sarvamahavo vakshyama iti ata kabandi kadyayana upetya papracha bhagavan kuto va ima bhutani jayante. See, I told you the question in Kaivalya, to that answer was Shraddha, Mundakopanishad, Shraddha. Then in Kathopanishad, almost every Valli we have seen. Tapashraddheye Hivasantaranye Shanta Vidvamso Bhaiksha Charyam Charantaha. This is also Mundakopanishad mantra. Okay. In Bhagavad Gita, 4th chapter, Shraddhavan Lavate Jnanam. If you don't have Shraddha, you will never go to Guru, never surrender, never listen, never gain knowledge. See, there are levels in Shraddha. Coming to class is one Shraddha. That will bring you only to class. But after coming to class, whether you listen or not, it requires Shraddha for listening. Otherwise, come to class but look at cell phone only, look at all the status only. I see some of you, when I finish my class and look at the time of class, you are watching status. I get surprised. So you have Shraddha up to coming to class, but not to listen. Some have the listening Shraddha, but there is no Shraddha in wanting to understand. Because that level of application to understand will not be there in them. Some have Shraddha up to understanding level and they teach others like me. After that, Shraddha to practice. Where the Shraddha is required? Answer is, bolo where Shraddha is not required. Everywhere. So, Shraddhavan lavate jnana. Then only it will come. Opposite of Shraddha is Samshaya. You will never get Samshayatma Virash. Now, in Bhagavad Gita's most important thing I told you in many occasions earlier is, Bhagavan, just before Moksha, 18th chapter, he gave the chapter named Shraddha only. Shraddha Traya Vibhaga Yoga. Then we explained it in 2 ways, if you remember. What is that? If you have studied 16 chapters of Gita, and if it is resulted in the 17th chapter's Shraddha, then you are deserving the 18th chapter's Moksha. Secondly, if you studied 16 chapters of Gita, but 17th chapter's Shraddha, it has not come to you, you will not be qualified for the 18th chapter Moksha, you will be back to first chapter of Arjuna Vishada. Third point, you have never studied 16 chapters, never mind. Study one chapter called 17 of Shraddha. You are ready for the moksha of the 18th chapter. Bhagavad Gita. He can tell Shraddhatra Yoga Avayog anywhere, no? Why did he put it 17th chapter before that moksha? This is what. And in you and I practically also, with so much of all study, what is that? Because still we are not totally involved in sadhana because Shraddha has not come. Same way, still why we are continuing in the worldliness because Mahashraddha have been. Yeah. Now definition of Shraddha. Gurudev says faith is to believe in something which you do not know, the result of which is you come to know what you believe in. Some people say faith can move mountains provided the faith is stronger than mountain. Then the definition of Shraddha is Sat Dhatte iti Shraddha. That power by which what you are holding on to, that you get. With Shraddha, if you hold on to Brahma, Brahma will come. With Shraddha, if you hold on to Bhagavan Narayana or Vishnu, he will come. With Shraddha, if you want to become Rakshasa, you can become Rakshasa. That is the power of Shraddha which yields you. With Shraddha, a scientist want to go to moon, he will go. He want to go to Angaraka, he will go. That is a special quality by which whatever you seek, you reach. Because nothing is impossible in this world. Shraddha. See how many ways. Then Gita 7th chapter mein, he says, Sattvanurupa sarvasya shraddha bhavati bharata shraddha mayoyam purushaha yo et shraddha saeva saha. Third shloka. You must understand every word of that. You make your antakarna full of shraddha. Okay, now two more meanings we'll tell today, depending on time. One, what is the definition given by Bhagavan Sri Adi Shankara for Shraddha in Vivek Chudamani? He says, Shastrasya Guru Vakyasya Satya Buddhya Avadharana Sa Shraddha Kathita Sadvihi Yaya Vastu Palabhyate. Shastrasya Guru Vakyasya. Of the Shastra Vakya and Guru Vakya. Shastrasya Vakya, Guru Vakya, Satya Buddhya Avadharana. Holding on to it with the buddhi that it is Satya, that I am going to practice and get the result. Come what may, I am not going to leave this, and I am sure when I do that, I will get the result. That Shastra and Guru Vakya, Satya Buddhi se pakadna. So that is called as Shraddha. Now, the peculiarity of this definition here is, in explaining Viveka, Vairagya, Shamadama, Paramatiksha, Samadhana, Mumukshuttam, nowhere Bhagavan said, when you have this practice, you will get Paramatma. Only when it is a topic of Shraddha, he said, Yaya Vastu Upalabhyate. By this Shraddha, only the Vastu you will gain. Vastu is Paramatma Anubhuti. Because Paramatma is not created by anything. It's there very much. Only you have to Shraddha, and with Shraddha, all doubts are dropped. Then you will get revelation of it. Same thing what is said by him, Tulsidas says in the Ramayana Balakanda Prarthana Shlokas. Bhavani Shankarau Vande Shraddha Vishwasa Rupinau. Now, second line is important. Yabhyam Vina Na Pashyanti Siddhaha Swa Antastam Ishwaram. Without this Shraddha, the sadhakas will not become successful enough to discover the Ishvara who is there very much in their own heart. Here, Bhavani Shankara Shraddha Vishwasa Rupina. There is Shraddha in the Guru Shastra Ityadi, Vishwasa in oneself to do sadhana. Now, the same thing we explained to you, remember, in the Ramayana Prasanga, in 10 years, nothing happened to Sri Rama, Sri Sita and Lakshmana. 10 or 12 years. 2 years they bhatak rahe the, with 10 saal they stayed. Because at that time they were in Panchavati. The very huge, stout, strong 5 Vatavruksha. And that Vatavruksha in Tulsi Ramayana is compared with Shraddha. Vatu Vishwasa Achala Nija Dharma. The moment she came out of that Panchavati, little Shraddha gone, she saw the deer and her Shraddha shifted from Rama to the deer. Then she had landed in Lanka, troubling everyone. But as long as she was with Rama with full Shraddha, no Rakshasa could touch. But Shraddha on the deer came, Rakshasa came in Sadhu Rupa and took her away. Sadhu did not kidnap her. Rakshasa in the Sadhu Rupa. Please mind the difference in the definitions. Careful, be careful. Don't be stupid. साधु ने किडनैप नहीं किया, साधु के रूप में किडनैपर ने किया. Then there again she had that great Shraddha. Therefore Hanumanji came, Sri Ramji came. Then again she met the Lord. Panchavati. Then what are the 5 Shraddhas? Panchavruksha. We spoke about it long back, though many times. 6 months के पहले हमने बहुत डिस्कस किया था इसको. Last 6 months topic was not coming, so we were not. Shraddha in Paramatma. Shraddha in the Shastra, which tells us about Paramatma. Shraddha in the Guru, which explains the Shastra to us. Shraddha in the Sadhana, which Guru tells us. And Shraddha in ourselves, who are supposed to do the Sadhana. In these 5, when the Shraddha is very strong, then we will get Paramatma. That Shraddha is spoken. So from the Upanishad, from Ramayana, from Gita, from Viveka Chodamani, from so many places we brought. Some stories also we have showed. With Shraddha, Pattar mein bhi Murti mein Bhagwan aate. Prahlada Shraddha. That in that Khamba, Bhagwan is there. Appeared. This is Sattva Guna. Then Hrihi Daya, it is Daya nahi hona chahiye, kyunki Daya to upar aa gaye na. Hrihi Dana, I feel like that. Hrir Dana Adihi Swanirvrutihi. Why in one shloka Daya comes twice? Or you may have another meaning. One Daya may be feeling emotionally sensitive, another Daya may be in doing practical thing. So Hrihi. Hrihi means that Sattva Guna is always in a feeling of bashfulness, of not allowing his doership or ego to pop up outside. He always maintains that Hari. It's a very good quality. And mainly the Hari is a guna where we are forced from within or outside to do something wrong. If at all some things protects this Hari. In Urdu, if you say it looks very good, Hindi or Urdu, I don't know, this Shabda belongs to which language. Hari is Sharam. Is it not? The only thing which protects us from doing wrong is Shri Sharam. And we have become so Besharam. Is it not? Besharam. Everybody is Besharam. Hote hai na, sab kullam kulla hai. What protects is bashfulness. Hari. One of the beautiful qualities, Hari. झूठ बोलना है तो शर्म होना चाहिए. अगर है तो नहीं बोलेगा, अगर बेशरम है तो झूठ ही बोलता रहेगा वो. In this regard, whenever I remember, I remember my first day or second day of NCC. When I was, from 4th battalion, kahin tha, long back. So we were all there lined up. Then he was first or second class and he was teaching. That one who's there now teaches us the exercise parades up. He said, Sadhan! So that was the industry. Everybody attention ho gaya sahab. Then immediately said, Besharam! समझ नहीं हमको. It took 2 minutes time. He's not गाली दे रहे बेशरम करके. He said Vishram. I remember his name also. Some Bhagat Singh कुछ था. बेशरम he said. कैसे पता चला आपको हम बेशरम हैं? So विश्राम. So बेशर्मी लोग जो है कोई भी रोकते नहीं कहीं गलतियां करने के लिए. So हमें ये रखना चाहिए हमारे पास. This bashfulness, the Hari. That's the only thing it protects. Beautiful. That's how they used to teach to the children. बड़ों के सामने नहीं करना, कहीं भी नहीं करना. Sometimes the sensitivity level was so earlier, even the thought of taking something of somebody else also used to create a fear. अरे ऐसा कैसा thought आया मुझे? दूसरे का पेंसिल भी हम नहीं लेते हैं, इतना शर्म. मांगने की बात तो दूर है, देते हैं तो भी नहीं लेना. Somehow after forcing, because compulsory, you have to write exam, then you take it and do it and give back with all thanks. Now that is not there. Therefore, we become so lavishly greedy to get kisi se. Beg, borrow, steal, loot, plunder, but take everybody's thing to yourself. It is called the sign of Besharmi, not having this Hari. And the beautiful qualities of Hari are so many things. Its expressions in different places. What is required. Only to that level I will stop. अगर मुझे शर्म है तो. मैं बेशरम हूं तो ज्यादा जरूरत से ले लेता हूँ, जरूरत से ज्यादा. As I said, example, go for food, somebody gives some, okay, तृप्ति हो गए. अगर शर्म नहीं है तो और डालो. जो शर्म वाला है हमें कंटेंट हो गया, you can stop it. Like that. And among all these Sattva-guna Lakshanas, each one has special in its own place, but this looks to be important in the relevant world. This quality somehow has been totally selected and deleted, as if sharam is not required either in front of God or in front of the parents or in front of society. Nowhere. Where this Hari is not there, licentiousness comes. Then Daya or Dana and Swanirvruti are these two qualities. Dana is charity, Swanirvruti is what? Always finding happiness, peace from within because of all the above qualities. And these two need to be little explained. Tomorrow we'll touch little, then we see what are these are all Lakshanas of Sattva Guna, exclusive. And if somebody is fully predominantly with Rajo Guna, this second shloka. That is easier because ये जो सत्व गुण के absence ही रजस तमस है, so we can go and do them very fast except in 2-3 places. Then he talks about sannipatam, the admixture of these three gunas when they are there, how the persons behave. That will be told in 3 shloka, and then slowly he will start hinting us about how to develop the sattva guna and remove the rajas tamas ityad. And every shloka is a good package, giving one new idea regarding these 3 gunas. We will see tomorrow. Sarvam Krishna Arpanam. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ओम शांति शांति शांति. बोलो श्री कृष्णचंद्र भगवान की जय. भागवत महापुराण शास्त्र की जय. वेद व्यास आदि भागवताचार्य की जय. आज के आनंद की जय. सर्वत्र गोविंद नाम संकीर्तनं गोविंद गोविंद. Thank you. What is our Ramayanam today?